Hello and welcome to the Season 1, Episodes 1 to 5 recap of Blood on the Tamesis. So this video is for people who have either not had a chance to see Episodes 1 to 5 and want to jump in and join us live for Episode 6, or people who have seen those episodes and just want a little refresher of what went on before we come back after our mid-season break. Are you sitting comfortably? Then I'll begin. Many hundreds of years ago, four kindred, knights in their mortal lives, came together to take hold of the land of Oxfordshire and create a bastion of honour and loyalty among kindred kind. They swore an oath to each other and to their prince. I, a child of the damned, do swear to serve my lord and prince, Sir Drogo de Berentin, and never the beast, to commit no deed that brings shame upon myself, my blood, nor the domain of Oxfordshire, to fear God and his church, to allow no false words to pass between myself and my brothers. May this oath bind me to Oxfordshire and its prince, now and forevermore. Throughout history, more came to join them, great warriors and knights from the world around, all taking the same oath. Even today, these knights sit together with their great prince to rule over the domain of Oxfordshire, allowing only the most capable and proven of fledglings to dwell within their city. Our chronicle begins with four such fledglings, embraced but not yet proven. Velvet Riley, stolen from the embrace of his secret lover and made child of Wallace Benoit, a Ventru knight of Oxfordshire. Silas Shaw of the Bruyere, actor and stuntman, embraced into the line of the great founding knight, Sir James Douglas. Joanne Salt, esteemed surgeon brought back from death after a lethal attack and embraced into a disgraced line of Toreador. And Theodore Penn of Clan Ventru, a man driven by honour and loyalty, tempered in servitude to an ancient vampire of Japan and gifted to Oxfordshire kindred for the embrace. Together, they learned they were embraced not out of desire, but for a purpose. Their sires, Sir Wallace excluded, are members of a coterie in service to Sir Halder Sturluson, the southern gatekeeper. This old coterie is disbanding and needs new worthy kindred to inherit their mantle. And so, the fledglings are given their first task as a coterie: bring in an errant band of Duskborn for branding. After capturing them, it is discovered that one of the Duskborn already bears the mark of the prince, and that they've been hiding from his law. The coterie are charged with making an example of her to the others, and though this is a difficult task for some to come to terms with, Theodore quickly moves on with this duty and makes a gruesome example the other Duskborn will have to clean up. For completing this grim work, the coterie are each awarded a single coin, payment for the herald to present them to the prince. Joanne goes home to find her sire Barnaby there, and he issues her a warning. The kindred of Oxfordshire do not look favourably upon them and the Toreador. In fact, they are something of second-class citizens in Oxford. They weren't always, but Barnaby's great-grandsire has left the city, and nobody knows why. But the prince has been resentful of them ever since. His grandsire was executed, and his sire is kept in chains. And while they are clear for now, their freedom in the future is in no certain terms, and so he warns her to be careful how she handles herself in the city. The coterie go and hand their coins to the herald, Jason Alcott, who takes them, one by one, to the prince. Each swears an oath with varying success. Though not truly sincere, Velvet's oath is accepted well. Theodore, on the other hand, offers the prince a symbolic gift alongside his oath. By presenting himself as a warrior, the prince deems he must be tested as one. Joanne's oath does not come across well, but the herald bails her out in front of the prince, making it clear that she is in his debt. Silas is asked what he brings to the city and makes claims that the prince decides to verify in the future. To make the best impression possible, when they're presented before the court, each of the coterie opts to take a test of mettle and endure a blow from the scourge to test their strength. As the four prepare, the Scourge steps forward, an imposing figure dressed in plate mail, the chain of a flail rattling at her side. Only Velvet passes with grace. Silas and Joanne stay on their feet, but reveal too much of their beasts in the process to not be shamed. And Theodore, who was promised the test of a true warrior, is knocked into torpor as the Scourge attacks without ceremony, an act which draws the disapproval of the court. In court itself, Velvet catches a glimpse of Adam Palmer, his secret love, who had planned to embrace him, and rushes to speak with them. However, their conversation is interrupted as an argument begins between two other kindred, Sally, a Malkavian, and Rupert, a Ventru. Rupert is accused of poaching in Sally's domain, which he denies. Things quickly escalate, and a duel is called to settle the matter in the next court. Sir Holder steps forward as Sally's champion, but Rupert's allies are prevented from supporting him publicly, leaving him to fight alone. It is explained to the coterie that they are now petitioners to the city, but that to be recognised as true kindred of Oxfordshire, and to be free of their sire's supervision, they would need 2 citizens, or a single knight of the domain, to vouch for their value. After a long group discussion, the coterie decide to make an impression on the city by negotiating between Rupert and Sally to bring about a peaceful and face-saving resolution. Velvet's attentions are distracted by his chance to meet with Adam, however, and they soon continue their illicit love affair. Around this time, the Scourge finds Theodore. Filled with remorse over her previous lack of control, she offers him a chance to redeem himself in the eyes of the court by finding an enemy that has eluded the prince for some time, and Theodore agrees to this. Meanwhile, Silas has to deal with the fallout of his bold claims to the prince and is sent to the outskirts of Oxfordshire, where he serves as a live target for Sir Gansuk, who wants to practice his skills with the javelin. A few nights later, Joanne is met by her sire. He takes her to Sally, who has someone Joanne has been looking for. To find out what happens when Joanne meets that person, and whether the coterie succeed in impressing the court of Oxfordshire, tune in to episode 6 of Blood on the Tamesis.